Sorry about that. Hey y'all, trying to get this straight with my new glasses. Finally, this is my new channel. I have had 3 or 4 different YouTube channels, and today is a very, I guess, different day. I just got called to do this type of channel, and I did just get my Reiki master teacher certificate, but all of a sudden, I've been praying about it and praying about it. Actually, I got it in January or December. I'm sorry, December. But I've been praying about it and praying about it, and I got my answer today. So I have changed my channel. This is the King James Version Bible. And we are Bible believers. We did have a church here in Utopia, but our pastor and his wife and children have moved. They're like 6 hours away now, so we have to either hold our own services or my husband and I do is watch Dr. Reckman. We watch his videos, and there are other things I watch as well, and listen to the Final Fight radio, which is on your phone. It's a free call. It doesn't use data or anything, so they have a lot of good programs on Final Fight. Sorry, Frisco's has to go through. So, and this, I got called, and this was my Bible that I got. Yes, I wanted a small one. I do have King James Version Bibles, but I wanted a small one that I could carry around with me all the time, but one that I could still read. It was big enough for me to read the words. The only problem now is I want one with a wide margin so I can take notes. So, and I do believe I'm going to end up getting a larger version, but still keep this one because this one is, I love this one. But getting one so I can take notes in the margins instead of using my notepads. Oh, there goes my phone again. But anyway, and I am, actually, to be honest, I am pretty new to this. I got saved. It was the day after Christmas, actually, in 2017. The day after Christmas. It was in our woods. I was out there hunting, and I had been talking to my father-in-law, and because he actually went to the Pensacola Bible Institute and graduated, and I had been talking with him and considering about my past, what I have done in the past. He's a good person. I bounce my ideas off of. I bounce all my questions off of. And he's going to tell you, pray about it. So this is just kind of a quick intro to me and how I came on this path. Let me move this. There we go. Frisco has to be up in everything. And he still is. Sorry. There we go. He still feels like he's in it, but he's not. Okay, yeah, he is. Sorry. Anyway. So like I said, the day after Christmas in 2017, I actually knelt down in the woods and gave my life to the Lord. So I became saved. And yes, water baptism is basically just a outward showing. There's no such thing, but it's just an outward showing of baptism. It has nothing to do with going to heaven. So I did have the water baptism done because last time I was baptized was in a Protestant church, and I believe I was 2 years old, so I don't remember any of that. And I was too young anyway. So I did get baptized oh gosh, it was in October, so it was like 10 months after I got saved, because I didn't want to just do it right off. I wanted to study, I wanted to learn, I wanted to make sure, I wanted to, you know, and I go about everything on my own little way. And this is what I do. I have read the Bible from cover to cover, I don't know how many times. Never before has it made any sense, couldn't understand it, thee, thou, thy, whatever. So, once I got saved and baptized, I started reading the Bible again to see if it's going to make a big difference now that I was saved. Wow. Yeah. I can actually understand it now. It does make a difference, and I'm always picking up, even though I've read it quite a few times, sorry, I'm picking up new meanings, and I'm always picking up something new out of there. So I started in Genesis, and I know everybody says you can either start cover to cover or start in John. And my father-in-law, like I said, he's told me different places to start. But, you know, I'm stubborn, so I started in Genesis just because I wanted to see. And I have made my way up to, I just finished Isaiah. So I'm still in the Old Testament. The New Testament is way up here. So, yeah, I'm still this far. But I wanted to start today. I had to go back. Like I said, I just finished Isaiah, but him and I had a discussion last week and the week before about Job. And he's telling me things I didn't even know. Job is the oldest book in the world. And I'm saying in the world. Job was righteous, and he didn't even have a Bible to read. He didn't have any scriptures. He was alive during Jesus' time. So, he was alive during all that. So, he had no scripture. Job is the oldest book in the world. So, he wasn't able to read something and believe it, reading it. It was basically through, like what he said, from the Lord's lips to his ear, is why. He was righteous, but yet he had the worst time and trials. I mean, the Lord said, he invited the devil to go test Job. Have you seen Job? And I cannot remember how it words it's here, so hold on. And I'll read the passage to you. And the Lord, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil? And still he holdeth fast his integrity, although thou movest me against him to destroy him without cause. So, he's actually inviting the devil to go test Job. So Job went from so many different trials and tests from the devil. And still, he never gave up on the Lord. He never once. Let's see. It says right in the first chapter, I got to read this. There was a man in the land of Uz, whose name was Job. And that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared God and eschewed evil. And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. His substance also was 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 she-asses, and a very great household, so that this man was the greatest of all the men in the East. So see, there you have it. He was the richest man and greatest man, one of the greatest men in the East. His sons went and feasted in their houses, every one his day, and sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and to drink with them. And it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning, and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, It may be that my sons have sinned and cursed God in their hearts. Thus did Job continually. So Job was praying and putting up offerings to the Lord for his children, just in case they had sinned. Obviously, we all sin. And he did it continually. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. And the Lord said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, Doth Job fear God for naught? Hast not thou made a hedge about him, and about his house, and all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. Sorry, I forgot to take off my notifications. But put forth thine hand now, and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, all that he hath is in thy power, only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. And there was a day when his sons and his daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And there came a messenger unto Job, and said, The oxen were plowing, and the asses feeding beside them. And the Sabaeans fell upon them, and took them away. Yea, they have slain the servants with the edge of the sword. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee. While he was yet speaking, there also came another, and said, The fire of God is fallen from heaven, and hath burned up the sheep and the servants, and consumed them. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee. While he was yet speaking, there came also another, and said, The Chaldeans made out 3 bands, and fell upon the camels, and have carried them away, yea, and slain the servants with the edge of the sword. And only I am escaped alone to tell thee. While he was yet speaking, there also came another, and said, Thy sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness, and smote the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they are dead. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee. Then Job arose, and rent his mantle, and shaved his head, and fell down upon the ground, and worshipped. He worshipped. After he lost everything. He was the richest man in the East. He lost everything, including his sons and daughters, and he fell down and worshipped. And said, Naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. The Lord gave, and the Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. In all this Job sinned not, nor charged God foolishly. That to me is amazing. Everything that he had been through, everything that he had, lost his children, his sons, his daughters, he lost his wealth, he lost all his animals, lost all his crops. He lost everything. And he fell down and worshipped God still. And in the 2nd chapter, I won't read the 2nd chapter till tomorrow. This is something I'm going to start doing now. Or maybe a different chapter, who knows. But in the 2nd chapter, again, the Lord gave the devil permission, I guess you could call it, to tempt again Job. And this time it was because he said, look, you took everything away from him, including his family and his children, and he still worships me. So this time it has to do with his skin, some sort of disease. I haven't read it yet, but, I think it is. Let me just say. Okay, there was a day. Okay, might as well start reading chapter 2. Again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them to present himself before the Lord. And the Lord said unto Satan, From whence cometh thou? And Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and from the earth, and from walking up and down it. That's his answer constantly. And the Lord said unto Satan, so this is the 2nd time he's giving him permission. Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil? And still he holdeth fast his integrity, although thou movest me against him, to destroy him without cause. Because he's like, even though you did what you did, he still is not going to move against me. And Satan answered the Lord and said, Skin for skin, yea, all that a man hath he will give for his life. So he's like, yeah, except for his skin. So I know that it has something to do with some sort of skin disease. That's what he's going to, Frisco. That's what he's going to try this time. But put forth thine hand now and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face. That's what the devil is telling the Lord. And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, he is thine hand, but save his life. Do what you want to, but spare his life, because I'm going to prove to you, Satan, that no matter what you do, he is not going to give up on me. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his foot unto the crown of his head. And he took him a potsherd to scrape himself withal, and he sat down among the ashes. So he broke a pot, and he was taking the shard, and he was trying to scrape all the boils and all that stuff. Then said his wife unto him, Dost thou still retain thine integrity? Curse God and die. So even his wife is tempting him to just curse God. But he said unto her, Thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of God, and shall we not receive evil? In all this did not Job sin with his lips? Not once. Now when Job's 3 friends heard of all this evil that was come upon him, they came every one from his own place. Eliphaz the Temanite, and Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite, for they had made an appointment together to come to mourn with him and to comfort him. And when they lifted up their eyes afar off, they knew him not. They lifted up their voice and wept, and they rent every one his mantle, and sprinkled dust upon their heads towards heaven. So they sat down with him upon the ground 7 days and 7 nights, and none spake a word unto him, for they saw that his grief was very great. Now I'm going to stop reading there. But that was chapter 1 and 2, and I said I wasn't going to read 2, but you know. Job, to me, is amazing. Yes, it is the oldest book in the Bible. Actually, it's the oldest book in the world. I'm sorry. Job is the oldest book in the world. I recently found out, and I thought that was pretty cool. And there's only, it stops at 42:17. So, yeah, 42 chapters. But yet not too big. There are bigger books. But, so, there's this man who's never even read about Jesus. He's just heard him with his ear, from Jesus' lips to Job's ear, and that's why he believes. And I'm going to stop right there today. And I do want to say, no matter what we go through, somebody always has it worse. So, yeah, my grandma used to say all these things about Job, and look what Job went through. We need to be more like Job. We need to have faith again. We need to have faith again. I've been watching a lot of stuff yesterday and today, and yeah, we need to have faith again. So, I'm going to put my marker here, and eventually, yes, I am going to get a different one, so that I can make my notes in the margin instead of in my notebook. But I just wanted to read a little bit on Job today, because of certain things I've been reading and watching. Testimonies I've heard, and the praying that I've done that has changed. So no more Reiki. You know, I worked hard for it, but guess what? I paid for it. Yeah, but guess what? No more Reiki. No more anything like that. I just get this calling right here to spread the word more. So that's what this channel is about. Any questions, drop them down in below. Like I said, I'm brand new, so we can learn together. All right, y'all have a blessed day.